we are live. Welcome, welcome. Happy New Year to everyone. And hopefully you've kicked off the year with some great celebrations. 2022, can you believe it? My goodness. So as people come into the chat, let me know if you can hear me. We are on a new setup and hopefully that is working really well. For those of you that were here a short while ago, we tried it from the mobile phone. It just simply did not work. It was not great sound, and I thought it better to race back here to the shelter. So I'm here now. Let's have a weekly chat. Tam Tam, hello. Let's say hi to everyone over here. Hello, Jake. Happy New Year, and to you too. What did you do for celebrations? I know that with the impact of the illness, there's a lot of places that were not able to celebrate, and certainly here in Sydney, Australia, we have another outbreak, and you know, they've encouraged people to be careful, which we're doing fine. But I guess in terms of phone alerts, it's really interesting because anywhere that I've found in the last few days I go into, within a few days there's alerts on my phone. So you know, there's a lot spreading around at the moment. Stayed at home, couple of drinks. Yeah, we actually had a quiet New Year's. We did see the fireworks, which Sydney has a spectacular firework presentation. It was amazing. And yeah, brought in the new year, so 2022. Okay, so today's chat, we're going to talk about I'm going to speak to some of your questions that you've been putting on videos. And if you have other questions, I invite you to pop them into the chat. If we do have anyone that wants to actually pop on screen here, I can certainly give you that link. I might put that up there now in case anyone is wanting to share their piggies. At this time, lots of piggies have got new setups and all sorts of things. So if you want to, you're very welcome. Let me get that for you. Here we go. And I think it's this one. Here we go. Let's put this in the chat for you. Okay, you should see that now, so that if you do want to do that. Now, our time, firstly, for the weekly chat is going to be, and we were looking at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, but this morning was a bit of a calamity because I had to go out. I had a separate appointment that had to take place, hence we tried the vehicle, so that's not really going to work. So what I will do is I'll say between 10 and 11 on a Tuesday. And the reason behind that is that the majority of people here on YouTube are actually in the USA. So this will be a much more beneficial time if you are in the USA and also if you're in Europe. So I don't know why the Aussies are not on here as much. It's really strange, but hopefully that will increase because we have a big following on Facebook. So I'm not sure. But anyway, our weekly chat between 10 and 11 here on a Tuesday, and we're going to see how that goes. All last year, we did that in the evening at 8 p.m. So this is a bit of a switch up for us, which is great. Tam Tam had some fireworks. Excellent. Yeah, we did. We saw them. We saw them on screen. We didn't actually go there. Everything's a little bit subdued here, which is you know, a safe way to be. Okay, so firstly, I just want to put out a huge thanks to Amanda, who has been here this morning, because she has brought by from her garden lots of beautiful fresh leaves, and I'm going to pop those out in some of the piggy cages in just a moment. We'll get that underway. So, hi Janet Mary Timothy. Okay, so if we're closer to the 10, it's more like 11 in the UK, which is good. And then it's early morning in the US, so it seems to be a better time frame, which is good. Yes, Tam Tam, guinea pigs can eat dill. They don't like it if we preference it between other herbs. They generally prefer parsley over it. Cilantro, which is also what we know as coriander here in Australia, is one that they also love to eat, but again, it's not a favorite. I think parsley wins on that on every account. Parsley, for those of you, interested in calcium, it's higher in that. We'll do a separate thing on calcium altogether, because that's a big topic. But all herbs, fantastic. They're fresh. If you can grow them, that's wonderful. And you can grow them in the same way that we were looking at growing the wheatgrass. There's a great wheatgrass video that we have. You can actually grow herbs in a similar way. So if you've got a balcony space or an area that has sunlight, you can grow them, or in your garden. Mint, absolutely. They love mint too. A big thing with herbs is that they're not sprayed, because some herbs can be sprayed, and you need to avoid those, of course, like sprayed grasses and so on. But absolutely, they like mint as well. It's quite a strong flavor for them, and again, it's not one of their favorites. But it's really funny, because when we talk about piggies and wanting to eat a particular type of herb, or it being more popular like parsley, we often find that you'll then get the odd piggy that really does like the other. So it chops and changes, but parsley tends to be the favorite in the herb family. So yes, they can eat dill, they can eat mint. Shall we pop some of the food in? Then you can see them munching that. So thank you from Amanda. I'll pop it in behind me now, and then you can watch them as they're gobbling. Oh, actually, we may as well go through them as well. Look at this. This is really cute. Now this, baby carrots. You can see the tiny carrot on the end, but they love the leaves as well. So you can purchase your carrots with leaf tops. They love them. And I'm just going to pull a handful out. We've got spinach leaves in here, baby spinach. This is silver beet. Silver beet can grow to be very large here and very dark. So these are very young, fresh leaves and beautiful. So I'm just going to put a sprinkling, because we've just got one bag. So we'll just put a sprinkling in each one. And you can watch the piggies enjoy this from Amanda. Here we are. Some more leaves in there. As I get new and different ones out, I'll show you. These are more of the carrots. Look how cute these are. How cute are they? How cute are they? Little tiny carrots and carrot tops. They absolutely love them all. You can eat them too. So people can eat carrot tops. You can cut this up and put it in your salad, in case you didn't know. Yes, beetroot leaves can be eaten. With beet leaves, it will change the color of urine. So be careful with that, because a lot of people experiment with different foods like beet leaves, and you can find that their urine can change color, and then you're worried whether there's a secondary problem there or not, but it's actually due to what they're eating. Hi from Belgium. Hello, Lilith. Hello. And let's see, there was another new one in here for you. Yes, here we are. Look, basil tops, fresh basil leaves. Yeah, so let me pop some of these in. The piggy next door. Yeah, you can watch as I go. Nice, maybe fine. Hello, everybody. Hi. Hi. There's a baby sprinkling in here. Fresh one. Here we go. Take that one. Okay. Would you like some little beet leaves up there? Oh, here's another one. This is fresh parsley. You see the fresh parsley? This is quite a selection. It's wonderful. Straight from the garden this morning. There we go. This one has some there. I think that's something. Oh, here's another one. This one here. Now this is chard. It looks like chard leaf, and they have coloured stems, perfectly fine and acceptable. So chard is really delicious. Some silver beets have a red stem as well. So something to watch for. Here we are. Parsley. Some more parsley. Delicious. There. Back see all the munching and nibbling happening. Put that one on properly, probably. Do it properly. That's it. Yes. Okay. So, hi, I thought it was funny. Yes, excellent. This is our new time frame. So let me know if you think it works for you. Hello, Lynn Weston from Canada. Hello and welcome, everyone. So we've just been handing out fresh herbs that Amanda brought from Jewel. She's about half an hour away. She dropped them off. I've just raced back from where we had the other chat. And yeah, so I've just popped them in the cages. You can see them. Look at him still. Is it this way? He's just stole the leaf. Did you see that? Very cute. But they're devouring them, and thank you. So if you are in the local area and you do have lots of veg like that, you certainly can drop it off here, because we have lots of little faces that would enjoy it. So awesome. So we're answering some questions. We've had a few this morning. One I had on one of the videos was how to tell the difference between an abscess and a sebaceous cyst. How do you know what it is that you're actually treating? Well, there's a couple of things there. Firstly, with abscesses, they are infection-based swelling that occurs very, very quickly. And quite often, because it's occurring quickly, there's heat involved. So an abscess, for example, around the jaw area, you could put your hand there. You might feel warmth on that bump, on that lump. It's growing very quickly. It's almost like a balloon that's being blown up. So almost ready to explode. And of course, the contents are runny and pus-like, very smelly. So that is telltale signs for an abscess. Abscesses often result in having antibiotics because of the way that it's actually come about. So what causes an abscess is often a bite wound, or it could be something that's penetrated the skin in some way. It could be on the inside area where there's an issue like something caught or trapped or injury to the mouth. So all of these issues can cause swelling, which can result in an abscess forming. So the main point about abscesses is that they are round, they're like balloons, they develop very quickly. When we look at sebaceous cysts, they're almost the opposite. They develop very slowly. There's no temperature with them whatsoever. You won't notice any temperature difference. Quite often people don't notice there's a cyst there until they really start to examine the animal. And then when they do come across the cyst, it doesn't tend to bother the animal. Generally, there's no pain associated with that. Whereas with an abscess, because of the massive swelling very quickly, there's generally quite a bit of pain. At the point it ruptures, there's a lot of relief. And we notice that the minute those abscesses are drained or removed, guinea pigs literally start eating and acting normally. So with a sebaceous cyst, they're also not specifically round. You can actually sort of squash them a bit like memory foam, and they change shape. So as you sort of press in on them, they move around like malleable clay. Very different in feel. An abscess will never do that, but a sebaceous cyst will. It'll change shape. And yeah, that's essentially the difference there. So both of them typically benign, both of them from different sources. Sebaceous cysts often occur in and around sebaceous, or let's call it hair follicles if you like, because they form in little pockets. Now we've got a question there. Lilith asks about when you remove a cyst, do you also remove the sac? You've seen me in so many videos where I'm updating you with the guinea pigs after. That this information about the sac is, it's very specific to a type of sebaceous cyst that is generally extremely large and generally towards the back end of the animal. Those at the front, never has that occurred. So what I'm going to do is produce for you a detailed video on this and why, because there's some other aspects I need to share with you about that. But all of the cases that I'm showing you repeatedly, you can see there's no sac that's being removed, the contents are being cleared, and it's being flushed correctly, and they are healing brilliantly. They're not returning. And in fact, we had Maisie here, so I don't know if Suzanne's popping back on, but we had Maisie here on Sunday, and we refilmed. It's nearly a year since we dealt with that enormous cyst on Maisie. Nothing has returned. So again, with the girls, Crystal and the others, there's so many of them, so many of them. If you're dealing with it in the way that I'm showing you, they're not returning. Now, yeah, so that is really the key issue here, is following the process. So in terms of the sac, yeah, I will cover a detailed video on that, because I'd like to show you some visual images of what you need to be looking for specifically there. But I hope that clarifies, and certainly you can see, because full disclosure here, we are treating, you know, a large number of animals that come through rescue. Many of them have surgery through vets, many of them have other surgical issues and interventions with vets, like dental, and then some of that we can deal with here. Some of that we deal with through lockdown. You know, some of those videos that you saw were in lockdown. We could not get to vets. So, but in every instance, full disclosure, you're actually seeing before and after, and it's being solved. So that's fantastic for the animal. Really, really fantastic. Lilith says, this were, hold on, here we go. Lilith, this would be heaven to my daughter. She's really obsessed with cavies and rabbits for the moment. We have 4 elderly rescue rabbits and 3 rescue cavies. They're all spoiled little beasts. That's awesome. Well done. They're gorgeous animals. They truly are. And look, they're fantastic. Here we go. I thought it was funny. Regarding feeding guinea pigs fruit, I know in moderation once a week. Others say you can give a small amount every day. As for veggies, some say never broccoli or cabbage, and others say it's okay. All right, let's talk about food and fruit specifically. Right. On the internet, you're going to get lots of differing opinions. And we see it all the time where people have very specific we call it something else, but I probably shouldn't here on the internet, but very directed opinions about what they can eat, how much they can eat every day. So they'll be the people that will tell you they can have kale once every 4 days only, they can have capsicum twice a week, they can have broccoli once. That's the sort of thing I'm talking about. Honestly, avoid that information, because these are ground foraging animals. They are designed to eat grasses. That is their natural food content. So when people ask me what they should have more of naturally, I say things on the ground. Grasses, absolutely natural to their diet. So that's my first preference before we have a go-to of which fruit, which veg, and so forth. Now, you've seen me hand out lots of leafy greens and herbs, which they are absolutely tucking into. That is how we treat our guinea pigs. They love that. They absolutely need that. Now, the other aspect is vitamin C, because they need to have the right vitamin C in their diet in order to be healthy. But vitamin C is also in natural grasses, and it's also in fruit and vegetables. But what I would like you to consider is that when you purchase your fruit and vegetables, they're not always the healthiest option available. For example, when you purchase from a supermarket, they're already pre-washed. So enzymes that are on and around that natural fruit or veg leaf are no longer there. Whereas with grasses that you pick, they are. However, with grass that you pick, depending where you pick it, you may also pick up other things. So you need to be careful that there are not dogs and cats around in that environment. So it's this sort of constant balance that we need to keep for these animals to be healthy. They love their fresh vegetables. As a guide, we say a mixture of them up to 1 cup per adult guinea pig per day. And that will keep them absolutely healthy and well. The healthiest guinea pigs I ever see always have access to grass. And that's because of the nutrients and the enzymes that are natural in the foods that are naturally meant for them to consume. So it makes perfect sense, really. Now, when we start to touch on things like calcium, that is a whole different area, because again, you're going to get people that say there's too much calcium, they can't have calcium, it's really bad for them. You need calcium to grow teeth, and they're constantly growing teeth. Also bones. So you have to have calcium in your diet. You cannot eliminate it. And it also, I don't believe it's fully the solution. The reason being that we have so many guinea pigs that will come in that are siblings, that are from the same lifestyle environment. They've been there for 3-4 years, and one of them has stones, but the others don't. So there's some predisposition that some animals have that others don't in the same environment with the same foods. There's also discussions around the actual pellets and the amount of, I've always questioned the filler foods that are put within the food that we give them. So we always limit that down, and we say 1 tablespoon of pelleted food per day. But if you think of that by measure of what they're eating, it is the smaller amount within their diet. And you know, there's a lot of chat we need to do about that as well. Hopefully that helps. Oh, coming back to fruit. Okay, fruit specifically is a high sugar component in their diet. Now, guinea pigs love it. They love a little bit of fruit. We love something sweet. It's really quite normal for animals to want to favor something that's delicious, and fruit is really nice. We don't typically give fruit here. It is a treat food, so we don't give it every day, but I do know people that will give a tiny piece every day. What I would recommend is that if you're going to do that, you need to introduce that to guinea pigs relatively smoothly, and it be a small piece, because their gut needs to adjust to that, because sugar and fermentation work at a faster rate than if there's not sugar in the diet. So that's an interesting thing. The other thing is, with babies and with older guinea pigs, they are more compromised because of their age. So things like bloat, or bloat foods that can trigger that, they're more sensitive to it. And I've seen this time and time again, where people have had guinea pigs on a certain routine, a certain diet, and then suddenly their elderly piggies have got bloat. And it's because of changing circumstance with their age, and now it's just a little bit too much for them. So as guinea pigs age, it has as much of an impact as when they're young in terms of bloat. Okay, let's whip back to the chat here. There's loads of questions in there. Let's go through. Okay, so I thought it was funny. Feed my veggies every day. When I first was giving guinea pigs, told veggies was the most important part of their diet. I know better. Yeah. People say that. But if you think about it, these are ground foraging animals. Now, they don't live in the wild anywhere. However, we do have free range cases. But again, they are consuming grasses. Where we have countries like Peru, where you see them, they're actually in and around houses that provide safety, or a measure of safety for them. And in that sense, they are free ranging in and around the properties. But again, they're ground foraging. They're eating the base of corn. They're eating the base of grasses that they can find and consume. They're finding hays when they want to, which is essentially grasses that have dried out. So they can balance all of that. That is what they are designed to eat. Now, where we teach people, I'll give them enormous amounts of fruit and veg. If you live in Scandinavia or in Iceland, then you're going to find it difficult to get fresh grasses. You're going to find it difficult to do that. So that's where fresh foods can supplement that. And the reason that they're saying give vegetables, give fresh fruit, give these things, is because of the vitamin C content and variety of minerals and vitamins in there. So with whatever food you give your guinea pigs, I totally recommend that you give them variety for a couple of reasons. Firstly, that it gives them great interest. They love the excitement of different foods and exploring and taste with all of that. So for interest, but also variety in terms of minerals and vitamins that they're going to consume. They're a much healthier animal when they've got a broader range of those available. Okay. let's move down. They love to eat all the time. At the end of the day, they love their food, don't they? Chris says, I heard don't give them anything with soy in it. Soy tends to be a filler, Chris. And yeah, we don't use, I mean, soy, we don't ever give them soy as a plant or a bean or anything like that. But it's often a filler in some of the products. And too much soy is not a good thing. It's not natural to their diet. Again, if you think about them being a ground-based foraging animal, they would never come across soybeans. So it's not natural to them. It is a filler product. And a lot of the pelleted foods, it actually bulks it out with things like that. That's one of the fillers that's in there. Questions over that? Absolutely. We've asked those for years and years. And in fact, right down to the point where people have tried to ask or have my opinion on which ones are best. And honestly, I think that depends on where you are in the world and what is available to you, but also keeping it to a minimum and ensuring there's no seed in it. A lot of these mixes can look like a bird seed. They're meant for a bird. So if it looks like bird seed, it's definitely not a guinea pig mix. So the more chaff orientated, the more solid mix form, it is a much better mix. We've got small pelleted foods like oxbow as well, which are designed for guinea pigs, but again, they do have fillers. So questions. Good night, Janet Mary Timothy. Good luck feeding him. Chris says, yes, age is a good thing to keep an eye on. Absolutely, because their diet does vary and change as they age, most definitely. I thought it was funny. Mine love fresh grass, as I always wash it due to bugs. Actually, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't wash it because there are enzymes that are on grasses that are really important to gut health. So I simply wouldn't wash it. Cut and provide. Now, one of the things that guinea pigs can get, we don't talk about it much, but it's a pinworm. So they can actually get a worm, and it's always a pinworm, which is very harmless. Most animals actually get a pinworm, but they can get that from grasses and from other animals having been there. So that's one of the possibilities. But the advantages in the enzymes far out exceeds the risk of the other, and you can easily do a worming syrup once every 6 months or so if you feel you want to. It's very rare that we have guinea pigs that have worms, so to speak, pinworms, but they are an occurrence, and that's generally the source of that. A little chattering there behind me. Yes, soy is in so many different brands, and we need to consider that. It's not natural to their diet. It's not a natural foraging food. We've said this for years and years and years and years. So we don't preference brands. We keep our food to a low amount, tablespoon per day. They're not overly consuming that. 80%, you see all the hay behind me here. 80% of their diet is hays and grasses. It really is. They love that. And then we can supplement with some veg. We can also supplement with vitamin C and other things if we need to. Okay, so we've topped out that on abscesses, cysts. We've covered food and diet. Do we have any more questions out there? Guinea pig related questions that you've really wondered about? A lot of people are concerned about long-coated guinea pigs, and they think they are way more work than short-coated guinea pigs. In all honesty, I don't think so. There's a bit more grooming involved, but if you're keeping them groomed relatively short, then actually the work is not that much different anyway. So if you want to have a really long-haired guinea pig, then yes, you've got brushing your hair like you would brush your own hair. And you've got the grooming involved with that. But, overall, if people are really wanting a mixture, you can actually keep that hair trimmed. So it's a measure also of doing some hairstyling and some grooming each couple of weeks. But you know, that can be a quick trim, as you've seen in some of the videos we've popped up. Yeah, bugs are actually bugs in the grass. Usually when you cut it, they will hop off. So literally cut, because the grass effectively is dying, but the bugs typically hop off, or you can shake them, they'll hop off. In terms of smaller bugs and health like that, that actually is responsible for your, let me get this right, your B vitamins. So when we talk about things like, I think it's your B3, someone might have to Google that for me, but I think it's your B vitamins. A lot of those actually, because I'm vegan, but a lot of those actually come from your the enzymes and the tiny bugs, in that sense, that are on grasses and natural foods. So yeah, check that one out. I think it's the B3. Hi Dawn, hello, welcome back. Yeah, so it's definitely really good for them to have natural foods, but if there's any spray on grasses, of course that can be lethal, and you wouldn't want to be picking from areas where other animals are using it, like dogs and cats. So you do need to check that's okay. Hi Jay. I have a question about one of my guineas. She sometimes really goes for the wheatgrass. I offer them, and then for no apparent reason she goes off it. Any idea why that could be? Yeah, just boredom. Could be boredom. It's a really strong tasting grass. Oops, sorry, I've just messed on the screen here. Woo, someone having a tiff. And yeah, it's a really strong tasting grass. I find that with the stronger tasting ones, they sometimes want the variety more than anything. So if you're giving it all the time, just try a different combination. What's going on down there? Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Okay. So yeah, try the variety, and it could simply be that they really do get bored with food fast. Actually, that's another interesting thing. They never get bored with grasses. Never. You can always give them grass. They will devour it every single time. So that's an interesting thing. With wheatgrass, it's a very concentrated grass, not a mix of different grasses. So perhaps it's the variety that might be needed there. I'd try that, Jay. Yeah, so I thought it was funny, I was washing the grass for that reason. You don't need to, but the enzymes on the grass are really of value to guinea pigs. Yeah, we see it time and time again. Guinea pigs here in Australia are much smaller than typically those you find in the US. We call them kai over there, or kui. Do you pronounce it kui or kai? But they are a larger animal, going up to around 2.5 kilos, where here our largest guinea pig would be 1.5 kilos. So they're much smaller head, and in terms of diet and everything provided, it's a little bit less if you think of it that way. It's a pleasure. So, any more questions? We've had a really great chat, and welcome back. Now, next week we have got a really exciting chat, and we're going to try for 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Failing that, it will be between 10 and 11. So we're aiming for 10, and it's going to be a really exciting chat with capybara. So if you've always wondered about guinea pigs and capybaras, the relationship between them, what those sorts of animals are like, next week, don't miss it. Awesome. So I thought it was funny you say you don't measure them with a measuring tape from head to toe. Genetically, guinea pigs can be very different in their weight size. So we have adult guinea pigs here that I've come across that are 700 to 800 grams. That's tiny. So that's an adult guinea pig, and a normal healthy guinea pig, so genetically smaller. At the same time, we've had other guinea pigs up to 1.8 kilos. That's a really big guinea pig. When people see them here in Australia, they're very big. So that's quite a range. That's nearly double the size. Measuring them from head to toe, their length is different, but we also look at their girth and their weight proportion of that. So one of your guinea pigs is 9 inches long, 11.5 inches. See, that's huge. 1,500 grams. Okay, so that's 1.5 kilos. That's awesome. So I'll actually measure Nipster a bit later, and I'll pop the details up on him because he's a very large piggy, and you can see. But we've had other piggies like I'm trying to think of Beck's piggy. What's he called? It's not Jefferson. Oh, he's super cute. He was one of the really big piggies we had come in. So yeah, 1,500 gram piggies, that's a great size. They are in proportion, and often that's why they acquire the name potato, because they've got that smaller head shape to the larger butt size, that pear shape, if you like, or that potato shape. That's how they get that name. So the shape has a lot to do with their health. Awesome. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining me. Happy New Year. I hope things go really well in 2022. We've got a lot of changes taking place. We do have some products that are about to come out to you. I was hoping to get them out before Christmas, and I was really excited thinking we would. It just didn't happen. We've been so overwhelmed with animals and what's been going on here. But they will be coming out shortly, so I'll update you with those. And yeah, we've got a lot happening in terms of the year planning forward. So we'll talk about it as we go. But Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for joining me and tuning in. Please like this, and I will see you again very soon. Take care. Bye for now.